All right, we have.
So, by the way, for those wondering, Dan, LuckyD, is coming from winners, so Craig is going to have to force the reset if he wants to come out on top here.
And Dan plays a very unconventional Baylong. He doesn't really wreck at footsie range. He has a lot of confidence in those normals. Very good blocks.
I think coming from Dalsum, he definitely understands the normals and the footsie game a lot better than necessarily Rekka pressure or anything like that. But he's looking really good defensively against Viper. But Craig's pressure is just so strong. Yes. Gets a nice Rekka combo into the corner. It tries for does not cancel it. I don't know if that was a mistake. And Craig does not manage to get the punish.
He actually opted for Ultra 1 instead of Ultra 2.
I think I would agree with that decision because Craig is a smart enough player that he knows he's not going to be able to, just do it. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
There's some hits.
I've never seen that.
There's some hit stuff on that.
Well, here's the thing. If Dan chooses Ultra 2, Craig is very discouraged to burn kick. And that takes the burn kick mix
I
up
suppose that's true.
So that makes the matchup a lot easier on Baylong.
I understand using it against Cammy for sure. I guess on paper, you could probably get away with either Ultra in this matchup, but I think I would definitely agree with you that just to have it as a discouraging factor, not necessarily, you don't think you're going to hit with it, you just do it to say you now can't burn kick.
Exactly.
Craig manages to keep his pressure strong and takes the second round.
Because it's not hard to do it on reaction. You can do it on reaction. To burn kick.
Yes, and especially with a player of Dan's caliber who's been playing for so long and definitely has the skill to be able to do that.
But Craig has been on a tear.
He has. Unfortunately for him, he lost his first match his first match he played, but he has just been tearing through everybody in losers, and he comes all the way back to grand finals.
Very good EX Seismo. I've noticed that instead of burn kick, he's been going to I think that's jab Thunder Knuckle after EX Seismos.
The low one.
Yeah. No, the medium Thunder Knuckle. Yes.
Low is jab, medium is medium.
Yeah.
Low is strong?
Oh! Just ultras.
I guess I'm wrong.
Trying to smell something out. Nothing there, though.
That's why ultras are 8-frame startup, Craig says. So Dan not looking shaken though. He's got plenty of rounds as buffer that he can afford to lose and still manage to come out on top. But he's definitely gonna have to make a turnaround. Craig's pressure he's just in his face, and Dan is having trouble keeping him out. But got him in the corner now. You can see how much damage he can get us. Thunder Knuckle again.
Thunder Knuckle wins.
Thunder Knuckle will win that every day.
It depends on how lit Dan is. Because earlier we saw Craig versus.
I thought he did chicken wing. My mistake.
Oh no, he did burn. He did Blink.
Gets a nice crumple and goes for the ultra. I think that's not quite going to kill, but that'll be some nice damage.
Now all he needs
so one mix. Oh, wow, just does it.
Language.
Dan manages to get the round and see if he can keep it going, but Craig, a very strong start. Wow. That is a whole lot of damage.
Maybe go for a mix-up.
He's going to have to shake this off. He's got a long road ahead of him to get this round.
Yes. Never count out Feilong. Never count out Feilong.
Absolutely not. Feilong is, I think, one of the reasons that Feilong was top tier in AE before 2012 is just because he has that amazing comeback potential. He's so solid. He can keep everything going.
He did so much damage.
Yes. Even if he's in a position like that where he's that far down, you don't need to have all the damage. It's the fact that he can handle any situation. He's got an uppercut, he's got good pressure, he's got good footsies. There's really not much that he can
godlike footsies. I think Feilong has the best footsies in the game.
As a Chun main since vanilla, I would have to disagree. Chun's got great footsies, but hear me out.
Do we see Chun-Li winning majors?
No, we don't, and that is because there are too many characters who can decide not to play footsies.
Fair enough.
I won't bore you with that. That's all Chun-Li stuff. Nobody cares about Chun-Li these days. But
and while we were talking about that,
we are now one round away from the reset.
I go to Velvet. I would go to Velvet.
I think Dan definitely does need to make some sort of adjustment here. I mean, win or lose this round, he's got to make some sort of adjustment. I just feel like Dalsum might not be what he needs. I think gets another lucky focus there. Crumbles and goes for the ultra.
I really think he's smelling out that burn kick with that focus. Because last time he did it was burn kick too.
It's there's some damage. It's a question of that'll probably no, not quite kill. Yeah, there wasn't much Dan could do there. So now, is he going to go for the switch? I think that is the question on everyone's mind.
If he's not going to go Dawson, I really would like to see him go to Open. I would really like to see it.
He's definitely got to make some sort of adjustment.
I'm commenting.
He definitely needs to make some sort of adjustment.
All right.
So Dan definitely has to make some sort of adjustment. And it looks like he has decided... to stick with Fei Long. He has not made any sort of adjustment. He's simply slowing down the pace. He wanted to go to the character select screen, catch his breath. But let's see if he can. Let's see if that can give him the momentum that he needs to keep going. Craig's still just flying all over the place with the burn kick. Manages to get the crumble, but does not get the focus because he backdashed. Ooh. Dan has got to be careful that he does not let Craig just roll over him with the burn kicks. Which is what Craig is doing there. I don't know what that was all about. That's possible. That's still an interesting decision.
Hey man, he said fuck. That's what he said when he did commit it to it. He said fuck.
That's what Dan needs to avoid. Whenever Craig gets the seismos, that's when he gets in. That's when he manages to get in his face. He can dash up as far as he wants, and that's when he can just roll over Dan. Craig drops the combo, almost getting stunned, but manages to get away. Dan does. Dan focusing through those seismos. I'm not sure. Ooh. Again, the burn kicks. Dan is just having a lot of trouble dealing with the burn kicks. It's a question of not only the burn kicks. I think part of the problem is Dan is getting too impatient. He needs to buff up his defense and just, he needs to just block. Take some chip damage from the burn kicks, figure Craig out a little bit, just slow it down and not try to be so offensive. Just play it slow for a round, let him recover, and then see what he can turn around from there.
Getting involved in the fight.
Also possible. That's true. I guess any time playing against the Stevens, you're always got there's always a pretty vocal peanut gallery.
Oh yeah, of course.
And there we go. Dan takes the second round though. That's only the second round he's gotten this whole time.
It's all right.
That is okay. He can make the recovery.
RPD has made some insane comebacks.
He has. Whoa! Almost lost his stick. Now Dan manages to get Craig in the corner, but as we know, Viper, that doesn't really make a huge difference. She's got a lot of tools to deal with it and get herself out. Again, I think Dan needs to slow it down. He's got the life lead. He's got to slow down. Just hold Viper in the corner. Keep him in the corner. Just slow down. But Dan just wants to go in there. He just wants to keep going. And he's going to keep eating those if he doesn't slow it down. If he keeps trying too hard to be offensive, he's going to keep eating those burn kicks and those seismos. That was a good block from Dan. Dan seems to be getting frustrated with himself even. He definitely seems to have made an adjustment at this point. He has, matches have not been flying by so quickly. He's not letting Craig roll over him with the burn kicks. He gets in the corner, but he gets himself out. Again, it's those situations. He blocks the burn kick, and then he goes for a Rekka.
But again,
I'd be curious to talk to Dan afterwards and find out exactly what he was going for there. I mean, obviously he thinks Craig is doing something, but it's a question of what. Especially if it's a Seismo or a Thunder Knuckle, because Craig can just cancel. He can just cancel the Seismo, he can cancel the burn. Cancel the Seismo, cancel the Thunder Knuckle. So now this is the tournament match for Craig. And Dan now has a long road ahead of himself. Gets the crumple, pushes into the corner, and now we need to see how much damage he can get off of this. Does not get lucky. But Craig made an interesting decision to empty jump into the corner. A couple hits is better than no hits. That was a good block from Dan. He needs more of those. Again, he's got to just be defensive. He's got 63 seconds. He can slow it down. He can block. He does not seem to want to, though. Well, he doesn't need to do something crazy. What he needs to do is just keep it solid, keep it consistent. He's got to slow it down. He's got to make his comeback. Finally, that pays off for him. But think about all the times it's worked versus all the times it hasn't worked. I think he's only gotten 1 or 2 of those. Oh! All right, so this is the last round. Dan's got to turn this around. He's got to stop doing those recas. It's just not paying off. Now, I know that we were told earlier that Dan was going to try to stick with Faye for local tournaments. He has been training a lot, and it definitely showed in his match against Rob in winners finals. That's a tough break for Dan. I don't know what Craig was going for there. Surprised he didn't get the kill. Oh, I suppose he doesn't have enough meter. Dan in a very precarious position. Gets the uppercut. Gets another uppercut and pulls the round. Not sure if that is a lucky break for Dan or perhaps the momentum that he needs. Wow. That only works so often. I'm glad he did not go for the Rekka there. Those burn kicks everywhere. Yeah, Craig seems to be hungry for it. But he's got him in the corner. But again, as we've said, Viper does not care whether or not she's in the corner. She fights very well in the corner. An extremely mobile character. Oh my goodness! Dan has 1 chip of health left, and that'll do it. Craig Stevens takes it. So there you go, folks. Your